Hey guys, so today's video is about me comparing and contrasting Stellar and Ripple, but I would like to start with some housekeeping first. As always, my videos should be used for educational purposes and should not be taken as trading advice. Second, I have started interviewing different teams as a way to monetize my channel. I'd like to say that all of the questions that I asked, I have either sourced from the community via asking them on Twitter or Reddit, or I've done my own research and come up with questions that I think are interesting. I screen the projects before I agree to work with the team because I want to make sure that they have an active group of people working on it, that there's a roadmap, and that there's a goal. I don't just pick any project that comes my way. That being said, those are the only videos that I'm receiving reimbursement for. All of my Crypto 101 or my coin review stuff is done on an interest basis, which I've been pretty transparent about from the beginning. I've started using polls, as some of you have noticed, to pick out projects that people are more interested or stuff that I think that the community is going to really want to hear about. If anyone ever has any questions about what I do, about the channel, about my projects, anything at all, feel free to come on my Discord and ask. We have a very friendly group of people in there. You can also message me on Twitter or tweet me just in general because I'm on there pretty frequently. Okay, now that that's over with, let's get started. Ripple Labs was formed by Jeb McCaleb in 2011, and it's a financial tech company that sells payment software to banks worldwide. Their goal is to create a network in which payments can move around fast, secure, cheap, and globally. The cryptocurrency XRP is different than Ripple Labs. XRP is the native asset that runs on the Ripple network. When we think of Ripple, we often think that Ripple and XRP are interchangeable, and that's not the case. Ripple is actually completely separate from XRP, and that kind of causes some confusion. Ripple created XRP in order to be able to deliver its products more efficiently to its customers. However, it should be noted that XRP is not actually required to use the Ripple platform, nor is it required by banks if they decide to choose to use Ripple. Ripple uses the Ripple Protocol Consensus Algorithm, or RPCA, and it runs on a permissioned ledger where Ripple, because of regulations, has to maintain a unique list of all of the active nodes on the network. Anyone could start a validator, and anyone could choose any validator that they want, but the unique node list by Ripple is considered the standard. Transactions are grouped into sets, and each set is voted on by the validators. Each set must go through 4 sequential rounds of voting. Let's talk about their flagship products a little bit. Their first product is xCurrent. It gives banks the ability to move money across borders, and it runs on RippleNet, the Ripple blockchain, but it does not use XRP. Banks like this software because it allows them to save money and time when sending payments. The next one is xRapid, and this helps banks improve their liquidity when moving into emerging markets. And this is actually the only Ripple product in which XRP is required. Banks might like this because, as mentioned before, it helps improve liquidity, but they may not like it because it's introducing a little bit more of an unknown, which is the volatility of XRP in the market. XVIA is the final one, but it's still in development. It's scheduled to come out somewhere in early 2018, and apparently it's pretty similar to xCurrent. Only instead of allowing banks only to use the platform, it allows other entities to use the platform and send funds. However, this one also doesn't require XRP. Ripple touts an impressive 100+ banking institutions that are working with them. But I'd like to be clear, those 100+ are working on the platform xCurrent, which, as stated before, doesn't require the use of XRP. There's a list of about 4 or 5 cooperating partners that use xRapid, which means there's only about 4 or 5 cooperating partners that are actually utilizing XRP. Ripple Labs is a very successful company, but a lot of people associate that success with assumed success for XRP, but they're two very different things. Let's move on to Stellar. So Stellar was founded in 2014 by none only but Jeb McCaleb. Yes, the same Jeb McCaleb that founded Ripple. He's also the same guy that founded Mt. Gox in 2010, but then he, I guess, jumped ship in 2011. Originally, Stellar was a fork of Ripple, but it was actually named Stellard at the time. One of the co-founders, Joyce Kim, said that she found an issue in the Ripple protocol, and this made the Stellar Development Foundation create a brand new code for the Stellar network called Stellar Core. That came with a new consensus algorithm and a new code, and they renamed the project just Stellar. It went live in November 2015, which means that the argument that Stellar is just a fork or just a clone of Ripple is no longer accurate. Stellar is an open source protocol for exchanging money. And where Ripple wants to target financial institutions as its user base, Stellar just wants to target, well, individuals as its base. Lumens, or XLM, is the native asset of the network. It can also be sent very quickly with very low fees. Lumens are necessary to use the bridge network to conduct transactions through multiple currencies. Rather than proof of work, Stellar uses SCP, or the Stellar Consensus Protocol. This is an evolution of the Federated Byzantine Agreement, or FBA. Stellar is based on a quorum, not a block. The protocol uses quorum or quorum slices, which are set nodes that are reached to come to an agreement. The quorum securely reach consensus by exchanging signatures. So let's cover some similarities. The first and most obvious one is both projects were founded by Jeb McCaleb. The platforms were created as a bridge to help utilize multi-currency payments to either individuals or institutions. Both projects are very fast with very low fees. They are both also a pre-mined coin, and they have a circulating supply of 100 billion. Some differences. Ripple states that they can handle 1,500 transactions with 4 transactions per second. Stellar states that they can handle 1,000 transactions per second, but they've tested up to 3,000 and have not run into any issues. They also validate transactions in 3 to 5 seconds. Ripple allows freezing of currency that one has issued, and as far as we know, Stellar does not support that. Stellar is also inflationary, with 1% new coins being created yearly and all of the fees being recycled. The network also collects a base fee for each operation and a transaction. Each week, these funds get put into an inflation pool, and the protocol distributes these lumens out to account holders. Ripple destroys fees, which means the total number circulating supply of Ripple over time is going to decrease. A big controversy is Ripple is criticized for Ripple Labs holding 61% of the total Ripple in circulation, whereas Stellar states only 5% of lumens are held by the Development Foundation, and those are used for operational costs. What's pretty neat is there's a website that you can see the distribution of lumens live, and I'll leave the link in the description. One major argument over Ripple holding all of those coins is they've put 55 million into escrow, which means they can't just up and sell it and saturate the market. They've stated that they take out 1 billion a month to fund the project. Stellar allows you to choose whom you trust, which allows a little bit more freedom and decentralization, whereas Ripple's network is privatized, which means not everybody can participate in the system unless they're on the listed trust of nodes. The protocol does not allow you to choose who you want to trust, and although the network may have a lot of nodes, most of those nodes are backed by a node on the Ripple network, which means it's controlled by the company and thus it's not decentralized. I think Ripple's realized that this is a cause for concern for the community because they have stated that they're going to try to move to a more decentralized node setup, but I'm not entirely certain how that would work. To me, one of the major differences that stuck out was the fact that Lumens is needed for the Stellar network to function, whereas the majority of the Ripple Labs products don't require XRP. The argument about decentralization gets pretty heated too. I've seen it happen on Reddit and I've seen it happen on Twitter. The whole Ripple Labs holding 60% of the coin thing doesn't really look that fondly upon them. An issue I see with both projects that could cause a little concern for people is that both were founded by Jeb. And I don't mean this negatively as him as a person, obviously I don't know him personally, but his history within the crypto space could cause people to see these projects in a bit more of a tainted light. I assume no matter what I do here, I'm going to catch flack for this video. I really did do my best to come up with very unbiased information, compare and contrast, and try to find that defining line between what makes them different projects, because it's something that I certainly didn't understand, and I definitely wanted to find out on my own. As usual, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, you should hit the button wherever it is below and do that. I'm always very appreciative of all the support I get from you guys. If anybody wants to comment on this or tell me why they disagree, feel free to jump in my Discord. As always, you can check out my Patreon account if you want to support the channel. Never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.